InterDimensional Meditation Astral Travel Report for June 5th, 2025, Creating Our Personal 5D Universe. Hello and welcome back. All right, so we did a live guided interdimensional meditation last night, which was Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30. We do them every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, live right here on this channel. And so what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to talk about the experience that we had. So if you did this meditation, please do me a favor. Write in the comments what you experienced, specifically the things that were unique to you, the conversations that you had with the light beings that we spoke with, what you saw. Now, I don't always remember what happens in these meditations, and sometimes I miss details or get things wrong. So please, if I forgot something, put something into the comments about what we did. And yeah, let me know your experience. Did you like it? Was it? Yeah, put your experience in the comments. All right. So, what happened in this live guided interdimensional meditation? By the way, as I said, these are every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We also do the live CE5 human initiated contact with extraterrestrials. We do that every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. It's free here on the channel. If you want to see the ones that we've done, go to the live section on my YouTube channel and you can see all of the previous live streams that we've done since forever. So each one is different and each one is very powerful in my experience. They're getting more powerful. Again, that's just my experience. I'd love to hear yours. So we also have the Galactic Contact video course, Learn How to Channel and Communicate Extraterrestrials. You can check that out at contact.thunderwizard.com. But wait, it gets better. We also have the ET Channeling and Interdimensional Communication Zoom workshop. That is at thunderwizard.com. It's a specific subscription at thunderwizard.com. And just to make sure you know what to do, because people go, I get on the website and I don't know what to do, as though they've never been to a website before. Well, let me explain it to you. So you see here, this is the Thunder Wizard Patreon page. You see at the bottom of this picture, you see the menu, Home, Collections, Shop, Membership. Click on Membership, and when you do, you will see all of the different membership tiers that are available. Here's just a couple of them. The Group ET Channeling Workshop, that's the live Zoom, and the Interdimensional Mentorship. That's where I meet with you, but the ETs mentor you. I channel them and they tell you what you need. So please don't tell me you don't know what to do when you're on the website. It's very simple. Look for the menu and just click around and everything will make itself clear. There's also a shop where all kinds of things, blah, blah, blah. All right, so now that I've done the business, let's get back to this. What happened June 5th, 2025? All right, so first thing I remember doing is having a discussion about removing the 3D costume. I'm going to talk about that again because it's extremely important. It's what I'm going through, and I'm surrendering more to this process. As you know, I've been communicating with ETs for about 3 years now on a daily basis, and everything that I'm doing on this channel is a result of my interactions with them, what they've shown me, what I believe they've guided me to do, and what I think is most important. I'm really not interested in anything that isn't about me shifting to this higher frequency and doing everything in my power to shift everybody that wants to come with me to higher frequency. That's the only thing I'm focused on here. The thunderwizard.com, all the stuff you see in the shop and in the subscriptions, those are designed to give you the tools to either help you shift or help you work directly with light beings. It's all that we're about here. So what do I mean when I say getting rid of the 3D costume? So what's happening is every time that I do a meditation, I do a channeled reading, I slip further and further away from this third dimensional life. And one of the things that's happening is that I am no longer able to live life according to 3D rules. I can't live according to the narrative. You know, you have to have a job, and you have to have lots of money, and you have to pay taxes, and you have to be accepted, and you have to play by the rules. And I can't do that anymore. It's not that I haven't tried. I've been trying. It just now it won't work. The only thing I'm able to do now is live day to day, surrendering myself to the multiverse, to my own soul, to the light beings, and trusting that I will be shown what to do next, and that all of my physical needs will be taken care of so that I'll be able to do my job. That's all that I'm doing. Every video that I put up, I first think about, listen, I'm not interested anymore in trying to be a successful YouTuber or any of that. I'm just simply doing what I can to help create this shift for myself and others. So what I've come to find out, and we've talked about it, is that when you incarnate into the third dimension, we take on a fictional character. And in the beginning of that meditation, I talked about what an actor does to get into a role. And in case you want to know, it's very simple. The only thing you do when you're acting in a play or a movie or television or whatever is you read the lines that are given to you, and you start asking, what does this person want? So you empathize with the character and ask them what they want. You don't put your own desires onto it. So you're playing a bad guy. You can't judge them. You have to think about what it is that they want, and you have to then try and get that. And your lines, even if your line is hello or how are you, embedded in that line is that person doing something to try and get what they want. Fame, fortune, money, love, acceptance. Who knows what it is? And that's really all that's happening down here. And your life, everything you think about that bothers you, everything that gives you anxiety, everything that gives you pain, that gives you anger, resentment, everything that you think you're going after in order to be successful and survive in this world, those are all fictional. They have nothing to do with your soul. I guarantee you, your soul does not care about any of those things. You are here to play a character, and by playing that character, you are going to learn something about consciousness. We'll talk about that in other videos. So I talked about that. So then we did the Hool breath to get us connected. We then exited the crown chakra, ascending up the light shaft. Now, we've done that before. To me, I get the feeling like there's at least two things that we can do, and they seem fairly different. The first one is doing the normal CE5 protocol, where you imagine that you're coming out of your body, you're rising up above your body, you're rising up into the sky, and then you're communicating with whatever higher dimensional beings are out there, and bringing them back to Earth, and all of that. So that's one way that we've been doing that. The second way, which it feels different, and it's still very powerful, but it feels a little different, is we go up the crown chakra and we follow the light shaft that goes all the way up from the crown chakra all the way up to wherever we're going to go. And those tend to be very different. In any case, we did that. We exited out the crown chakra, and we ascended the light shaft that went straight up into the higher dimensions. And we then at some point realized that each galaxy has a particular theme and a deity. So I don't remember when this came to me. It could have been later in the meditation, but anyway, this is the order I'm remembering it in. I believe that we were looking down on our galaxy, and I became aware that all of the other galaxies were like individuals, and they had their own individual energy, they had their own individual focus, their own individual costume, if you will. So I became aware that beings that incarnated in, for instance, if you incarnate in the Pleiadian galaxy, from what I can tell, Pleiadians can correct me if I'm wrong, you work on connecting to other beings from a very empathic place. You focus on wisdom, you focus on healing and guidance. If you're an Arcturian, for example, again, Arcturians can correct me if I'm wrong, they're very interested in the science of spirit. And so they're into spirit technology, and they have that wisdom and understanding about how spirit manifests in different forms. And each one of the others, the Andromedans, like myself, the Andromedans are very passionate, fiery beings that are all about experience and creating. You know, they're like the actors or the artists of the multiverse. So anyway, those are just examples, and so I became aware of that. And I don't know what meaning that had. It just gave me an awareness, and I talked about it. And then we continued to rise up the light shaft, and we appeared before light beings and began discussing 5D identity. So I'm a little fuzzy on that. If you remember exactly what I was saying or what we were doing, please let me know. But the feeling I had was that these beings were very integral in helping conscious souls find out their own purpose, their own self, their own identity. And identity had everything to do with what kind of reality you would choose to create. And so, yeah, again, fill in the blanks, let me know, because I don't remember exactly what I said or what we did, but that feels like that was the theme. All right, so we then decided what universe we chose to create. So we've done this before, but this had a little different flavor to it. It was the universe we were going to create was focused on our higher dimensional identity, what we wanted to experience. So in other words, we were taking off the costume, the 3D costume, unzipping that, taking that off, and we were putting on a much larger, higher dimensional costume, which means a focus on, you know, who you are and what you want to accomplish, what you want to experience. And that has with it, you're controlling your own galaxy, you're controlling your own universe. And so what is it you want your universe to be about? Earth is about finding the soul amidst, all of these things that are trying to take you out of your internal experience of yourself. So that's just one particular theme that consciousness can go after to grow. So what would you create in your universe? So in mine, just as an example, I'm all about soul autonomy. I want souls to have the freedom to expand into whatever they are. And so the reality that I'm creating is going to be a place that will be so protected and so powerful and so safe that souls will literally, when they come into it, they will begin expanding into their own true nature. And life on the 5D world I'm going to create is going to be all about that. And so souls will come, and children will be born, and from the moment that they're born, there will be this emphasis on who are you? Be what you are. Expand into create. And of course, that means that there would be nothing but love and empathy and interaction. And so it would be this combination of complete interconnectedness and at the same time complete autonomy and individuality, and the celebration of the freedom of individuality. And yeah, so that's my reality. What would yours be about? All right. And then we ask the light beings to show us our true identity. And then we make the commitment to bring our 5D universe into the physical world. So again, I think I said something like, if you choose to do this. I may have said something like that. But I definitely, in myself, made the commitment, a harder commitment towards the rest of my life is going to be focused on this and nothing else. And so, we have to make choices. And here's the thing about living in 3D. There's only two choices. You can either do nothing and be completely controlled by fear and by banks and by wanting to be loved and accepted and conformity, or you can choose the path of your soul, which means you live the truth of your soul regardless of what anybody else wants you to be. Now, you really only have two choices, but it feels like you can just sit back and do nothing. Like there's a third choice where you don't have to do anything, and that's actually an illusion. When you don't do anything, you're choosing to go with the narrative. And there are some people that are choosing to go with the narrative. They want the money, they want the power, they want the narcissism. So there's only two paths. You're either going to be your own deity, your own God, and experience that reality, or you're going to either be a victim or an abuser or both. And it's either 5D or 3D. Those are your only two choices. So making the commitment to bring our 5D universe into the physical world. So I then doubled down on my commitment to doing that whatever I have to do, if it's possible, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my vision into a physical reality, a physical world. Of course, it would be much like this one, but obviously it would be very different. It has to be a different reality. And whether or not I'm capable of pulling that off, that's a whole other issue. But I'm committed to making that happen. And then we returned to our 3D universe, and we traveled to our galactic center, the center of our Milky Way galaxy. We began chanting the Huar mantra to shift the entire galaxy to our 5D reality. So this was a little different. It wasn't just we're focusing on planet Earth. The feeling I had was, no, let's shift the whole Milky Way galaxy, because if I'm right, the theme was that each galaxy has its own consciousness, its own focus. And so it will only be helpful if the Milky Way galaxy can shift itself up to a higher frequency of itself. So we focused on that, and again, while chanting, I spent a lot of time really imagining my perfect 5D world coming into a physical existence. All right, and then we returned to Earth, and we did some CE5, and we brought back the light beings to help shift our reality. So this is something I'm going to start incorporating, because I've come to realize that that's what's left. I believe, in my opinion, I'm willing to be wrong, I believe that the solar flash has come and gone. So I believe that the sun and the central sun has sent all of the the radiation to Earth, and Earth has absorbed everything she's capable of absorbing, and now she's shifting. And we're seeing that because we're seeing, I don't know if you're paying attention, but volcanic eruptions all over the planet, and earthquakes. So the Earth herself is shifting. All kinds of strange things are, happening. So I believe that she has absorbed everything she can absorb, and now this new birth is happening. So my focus now is to create as many interdimensional portals as possible. And that means every time that I meditate, every time that I channel, I'm also creating a portal. The reason why it's, if you want to, the reason why it's a good idea to have a channeling from me, which you can find out at channel.thunderwizard.com, what I'm talking about. Every time that I do that, I'm actually creating a portal to you. And so far, everybody who's gotten back to me after these readings has pretty much reflected that their physical reality, their day-to-day reality is now, there's a lot more higher dimensional things happening. They have a stronger connection. Light beings are interacting with them stronger than they were before. And it's simply because we're creating a portal. So I am actively seeking wherever I can to create these portals and bring as much higher dimensional energy, which includes higher dimensional beings. They have to be invited into our space. They can't violate that. They're not going to fly to Earth and say, take me to your leader, and snap their fingers and change the world. It's not going to happen that way. It's our planet. It's not their planet. And so we have to be the ones to shift it. But we can ask for help. And in my experience, there is nothing more transformative than physical interaction with higher dimensional energy and higher dimensional consciousness. There's nothing I've experienced in my 30, 40 years of teaching high level energy practices. There's nothing that even comes close to it. So I've been led to believe that I am actually a channel for this energy, not just by speaking the words, but that I'm able to physically channel the energy. And so I'm doing that as much as I can. But that means people have to want it. So you have to ask for it. So if you ask for my help, I will definitely do what I can. And so channel.thunderwizard.com is one of the ways that I do that specifically for people. Contact.thunderwizard.com is if you want to learn how to do that. I'll teach you what I've learned and what I do. All right. Yeah, so we returned to Earth and we brought back the light beings to shift 3D to 5D. So it means that we came back and we consciously created a portal where they could come down into our presence, and then we continued to communicate with them and, gave you just some basic stuff about what questions to ask. And I had an experience. I turned off the live stream and I continued, and I sat here and I communicated with the beings for quite some time. It was very beautiful, and I shift every time it happens. I'm not the same person. The next day, I'm not the person I was when before I did the meditation. So I'm hoping, it is my hope that is what happens for you as well. All right, so there we go. There's the interdimensional meditation report for June 5th. And again, we do these live guided meditations every Wednesday at 8:30. We've got this new Galactic Contact video course. We have the ET Channeling Interdimensional Communication Zoom workshop, which you can get at by subscribing to that specific Zoom group at thunderwizard.com Patreon site. We also have this Maoshan Spirit Fighting, which I've cut the price in half. Normally, to get all 5 forms, it's $1,250, I think. And so I cut that in half, but that's only going to last for 1 week. It's already started, so that's going to end on June 10th. So to learn more about that, go to maoshan.thunderwizard.com. all kinds of stuff we can be doing. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and like, do all that stuff, comment, do all those things. And I appreciate every single one of you who is actively supporting this channel. Those of you who are not only subscribed to the YouTube, but are subscribed at thunderwizard.com at the various levels and getting the information and getting the tools. And I'm appreciative of anybody who's doing these meditations, no matter who you are. If you're doing anything towards shifting towards the higher frequency, I am very grateful to you. And if you haven't, I invite you. You can come do the free stuff that we do twice a week. And if you want more, there's plenty of other stuff you can find at the websites I've already mentioned. That's it, my friends. I love you all. Please be extremely good to yourselves. I will see you all very soon.